One beautiful spring evening, a young colt was born, and his mother decided to name him Midnight. And just a few hours after Midnight was born, another young colt walked over. This young colt was only 2 days older than Midnight, and his name was Brownie. The two colts played together for a minute and then became best friends. A few months later, Midnight and Brownie were out in the forest playing like they did every day. When they suddenly stopped playing, they had both smelled a very unfamiliar smell. They looked around, but there was nothing to be seen. So they kept playing as if nothing had happened. But just a few seconds later, a big wolf came tumbling out of the bushes. Midnight and Clover both turned around to see the big wolf. They both just stood there, not knowing what to do. And just seconds later, the wolf attacked poor little Brownie. Clover wanted to help his friend, but knew that the best thing to do was go and get his mother and come back later. So he did just that. But when Midnight returned with his mother, just hours later, Brownie and the wolf were nowhere to be seen. Dun dun dun! And of course, Brownie's mother was devastated. But there was nothing she could do but just wait and hope that he was all right. Brownie thought about his friend every day, and just like Brownie's mother, was devastated. But he lived a happy, good life anyways. And every day, Midnight would go in the forest and play with a filly in the herd. But it just wasn't ever the same. And soon Midnight turned from colt to stallion. But he still thought about his best friend Brownie every day. One morning, Midnight had just woken up and was grazing when suddenly the herd leader rushed over to him and began rearing and acting like he wanted to fight. So Midnight backed away. The herd leader following Midnight every step he went. Midnight kept backing up, but the herd leader kept going further. When suddenly, before Midnight knew it, Midnight was out of the herd land. And only then did Midnight understand. The herd leader had decided that it was time. Midnight had to go find his own herd, collect some mares possibly. And when Midnight understood, he immediately turned and ran into the other territory. The herd leader was glad that he didn't actually have to fight Midnight and went back to his everyday job, protecting the herd. Midnight walked through the new land, and every second he did, wondering if there was another herd in this territory, and if it was dangerous for Midnight to be here. But he knew, or at least he hoped, that the herd leader wouldn't bring him into any dangerous situations. And so he wasn't scared. And as he had thought, there were no other herds here. But one night when he was sleeping, he heard a noise from the darkness, and he remembered. He was so scared, and he thought maybe it was that same wolf. Suddenly, it came running out of the bushes. But it wasn't a wolf, it was a horse. And Midnight recognized this horse to be Brownie. Come back for part 2.